Welcome to The Brook, bearing clusters of truth with a splash of common sense.
Good evening and welcome to The Brook on Canaan Radio. I am Will, and I'm in the studio today with David.
Hey, y'all.
Pastor Reeves.
I'm here.
Peter.
Hello.
And, of course, JT up in the booth, running everything.
The booth. The booth.
Okay. We'd love to hear from our listeners. During the show, you can text us your song requests at 920-940-8275, or you can send us a direct message on Instagram or Twitter. Yeah. And the phone number, again, is 920-940-8275. And the social media handles for both Instagram and Twitter are at Canaan_radio.
Radio.
Yes,
Radio.
you can request a song. We like to play the songs that are. We love playing songs for our listeners. So please request a song
on the radio, not here in the studio.
We just love having listeners.
We do. And with that, it is time for Let's get ready to ramble.
Radio.
I'm going to ramble a little bit right off the bat.
Do it.
My watch has been going dead for the last probably 3 weeks. And it's the way it started was the minute hand wouldn't move. It's the weirdest thing. The hour hand would, so I'm not quite sure how that works. Either that or I looked at it exactly the right time every hour. And now it's just the second hand's just wigging out. It's just like
bat.
Yeah. So that's what I'm rambling about.
Like his
sheep.
He's shameless. My birthday's coming up in May.
No, no. I love this watch. I do not want another one because I will not wear it.
For your birthday, I'm going to get you a brand new battery for your watch.
Well, thanks.
Oh,
wow.
Thanks.
Wow.
Splurging. It's an avocado.
Oh, thanks. It's an avocado.
Wow.
Tell us, Brother David, what's going on in the sports world?
Aaron Rodgers is not going to the Broncos.
At least he's praying. So.
See, here's the deal, people. Here's the deal. Rodgers is such an elite quarterback and has been such an elite quarterback for so long that majority of NFL hates. They don't hate Rodgers per se. They hate the fact that the Packers have been good for so long. Predominantly because we've had good quarterbacks. So we're spoiled, basically.
We are the best second place team.
Yes. So any news about Rodgers being unhappy or anything makes the news like it is what would you call it? Over dramatized.
Fake news.
Yes. So he may be unhappy. They have been working on a contract extension because Rodgers wasn't exactly thrilled when they drafted Jordan Love last year, which, I mean, I would understand why. And it was, in my opinion, maybe a little bit too early to do that, but there's no way to really know until it all plays out. But Rodgers is the MVP. Came out and put together an amazing year. And
he does that.
I have a problem.
He's still the quarterback.
I have a problem.
And he still is in his contract.
They may put together an amazing year, and he may be an amazing quarterback. And as much as I love the Packers, why, in the name of football, have they not been 2 more Super Bowls? It's killing me, man.
They should have been.
They get down to the end and they choke.
Okay, two things. Here's 2 things. One, our defense always seems to bite us in the end.
Bite us at the end.
In the end.
Yeah.
At the end. Whatever.
Zone.
Not in the end zone, apparently. And we always come. And number 2, I think it's a part of Rodgers' legacy. I think at this point, unfortunately, he gets to the championship games and he just
chokes.
As great. I wouldn't say chokes because he's amazing.
Every time I watch him in the championship game,
he's still good.
He goes out there and plays like it's just any other game.
Right.
I'm looking for him to go out there and I'm looking for him to like freak out.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. I think part of it is because he's so calm, like his personality is calm under. I think that sort of resonates. Like I think it spreads to his other teammates. All I know
is if he would play
but
those
he was
last
going
games
up and down
like he's brokering these deals.
Yes.
We'd win some Super Bowls.
He was going up and down those lines the last championship, and he was yelling at everyone saying, "Give me the ball back! Give me the ball back!" And it didn't happen. You know, It didn't happen. So if he had another shot at it, if our defense didn't mess up the couple times, we would have went to the Super Bowl, and we would have beat the Chiefs. We all know that. Chiefs were a joke this past year.
That's right.
Patrick Mahomes is the greatest ripoff of Aaron Rodgers ever.
He's an Aaron Rodgers wannabe.
I'm just messing. Patrick Mahomes is really good. But anyway, the point being,
Guys,
Rodgers is doing this.
category.
Rodgers is he's a cerebral guy, which means he's going to say this stuff. He's going to let the news get out, and he's going to threaten to leave so that he gets what he wants. And I think he will get what he wants. I think now, if he ends up leaving, he ends up leaving. It is what it is, and that stinks. But at the same time, it's like Packers haven't done him necessarily good the entirety of his career. But at the same time, I think it would be kind of very
He's been
it'd be a low class move. I think.
I think he needs to just start
leave.
taking like some serious chances and just going nuts as a quarterback.
Well,
you know how Favre there towards the end, he was just
yeah.
absolutely crazy.
It is time to sacrifice his body.
Yeah.
It is time.
Yes.
It is time
It
to
is
go out
time.
there and ruin your career.
Here's the thing. There was one play last. I
just
think
go
this
nuts.
is the reason I think we didn't go to the Super Bowl. There was one play, and I think it's Rodgers' fault. I mean, the fact that we were in that position was not Rodgers' fault, but the fact that he did not make the play. He was running out. It was third down. He was running across the field, and he was about to run past the line of scrimmage, and he had two choices. He was about 6 yards before the first down, and they were like on the 15-yard line before the touchdown. And he had a choice. He either could run as fast as he could to get that first down and possibly take a hit, or he could throw across his body. And he chose to take a last-second throw. And it was a good throw, but the guy wasn't really open, and I think it got hit down or something, I don't remember, and they had to kick a field goal. Then they kicked that field goal, which they probably should have gone for fourth down. But if he would have just ran, and that's what I've seen a lot of Rodgers lately doing, if he would have
Playing it
just
safe.
And he does that, I think, because he's been hurt so much, and he is older, and so he's trying to, but he should have, you're in one game, you're 2 minutes from the Super Bowl, you got to just tuck it and just run. You know, you got to put everything on
Do we want to roll the clip? I'm just kidding.
So I think that is the reason. I think we would have gotten a touchdown and probably would have won the Super Bowl. And of course, like I said, beat the Chiefs. That would have been easy. But the point is,
another edition of Monday Morning Quarterback.
The point is where we're at right now.
Saturday evening quarterback.
I think Rodgers will stay. I think they'll give him a a long deal, and I think Jordan Love will end up being traded or something. I think that's just how it's going to go down. If not, then we're going to have Jordan Love.
I think it would behoove Love to just stay under Rodgers and learn.
Love's not going to do anything.
Just the way Rodgers did under Favre.
Yeah.
Only do a better job of not making the same mistakes that seem to have been passed on from Favre to Rodgers.
I saw this stat. Not a single quarterback of Brett Favre, Bart Starr, and now Aaron Rodgers has had more than 16 seasons. Favre retired and then unretired and then went to other teams at 16 seasons. Bart Starr retired at 16 seasons, and Rodgers just finished his 16th season.
So he will have broken if he starts this next year in the as a Packer.
But here's the other thing. There's a lot of other stuff with Rodgers. He's got engaged, and he hosted Jeopardy. And so he has a possibility. He really loves Jeopardy. So there's a possibility.
He hosted Jeopardy?
He did. He was like a guest host. Yeah. And he loves that show.
Okay.
Well, Alex Trebek died. And so he's like, that's like his favorite show. So he hosted and did such a good job that I think they're gonna want him to come host permanently. And so he can do both. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. And so I think there's a part of him that's trying to figure out what he wants to do.
This has been Let's Get Ready to Ramble with Pulp Culture provided by David Reeves.
We know what he spends his time.
Oh, man.
I keep up on this stuff.
Usually
Rodgers,
he's
you
on
think he's
time
fanboy.
unless he's got pulp culture to catch up on.
Yeah.
Then he's
Do you have a poster of Rodgers in your...
No, because if Rodgers is
Just
traded,
wallpaper on his
I don't
phone.
want a poster of him.
on his wall, right above his bed?
I put those posters up and I put a Sharpie marker. I draw. This is what Jesus looked like.
Is that light flickering up there?
Oh, man, we're in trouble.
Donk! Right on the head.
Yes. Oh, no. Brzat.
Well,
What if Patrick Mahomes and Rodgers did a swap? Patrick Mahomes came to the Packers. Rodgers went to the Chiefs. What would happen?
football would still happen.
That's true.
Who do you think is a better quarterback?
Kansas City
Dad?
Chiefs
Just
would win the Super
you've
Bowl.
seen
They
Patrick.
probably would. They probably would.
It doesn't matter where Aaron goes.
Yeah.
He'll take that team
exactly.
to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he will.
Who do you think you've seen Patrick Mahomes play? Who do you think is better at their prime? A better, just pure, better at everything quarterback.
Aaron
Patrick?
Rodgers is a better player. He's a far better player.
Talented wise.
Yes, he's far better. What ails him is in the last 5 years he has been hurt and his recovery has been good, but he has been gun shy now. He's afraid of getting hit, and that's the difference. Mahomes younger, he doesn't mind getting hit. He's small, and he's just younger. You can take. So I'm just saying,
So you think Rodgers?
he's a far better player.
I think it's really close. There's some throws that I've seen from Mahomes. I think it comes down to intellectual. I think Rodgers is
You're talking about maturity in the pocket. You're talking about
I'm
the
talking
ability
about
to read?
football smarts. Yes.
Okay, so
being able
here's
to
the
read,
maturity in the pocket.
Here's the
making
thing. There are some
decisions.
plays that I've seen Favre do that I see Rodgers do, and those are practice plays. What you're seeing out of Mahomes is street ball. It's this lucky, let me flip sideways across my body while I'm upside down in the air.
Pretty much.
And,
That reminds you of Favre, doesn't it?
yes.
Didn't
Somehow-
Favre used to do that?
Yes.
Favre used to just be like,
To me, Mahomes
Flick
is
it.
the
He
baby.
flick it
but he
and-
was
Mahomes
yeah.
is the baby of Rodgers and Favre. Like he's a perfect mix of the two. I do feel
What's
like
with these analogies are killing me. They're killing me.
Here's the thing. I don't see that. I think Patrick Mahomes. I still think Rodgers in his prime was still better because I feel like every throw that Mahomes can make, Rodgers has already made it and has made similar ones. The one thing I don't see out of Patrick Mahomes that I've seen out of Rodgers is the pinpoint, consistent accuracy.
Yeah.
Just like lobbing it down the field 40,
Aaron
45
Rodgers
yards
got
and
that.
putting it
Yeah.
right
Boom,
in the
right
bread
in the bread
basket
basket.
while they're running at 20-something
Yeah,
miles an
yeah.
hour.
But I'm going
I
to
mean,
tell you that
it's
the difference
ridiculous.
is that's practiced.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers can do that, but he's practiced to do that. I think that Mahomes can do it, but he's not as old, he's not as practiced, and he relies a lot on his ability to escape the pocket, get out, and do something or find the hole and run a little bit. You don't know what he's going to do. It's another player like that irritates me, and I hated playing was the Seattle Seahawks.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Same exact style, and because those kind of guys carry a whole team on their shoulders when they can do that. Aaron Rodgers could do that when he was younger. Just came out on the field. He did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, see, Lindsay, you think that Mahomes is better, but the thing is, you didn't see. I grew up watching
Lindsay's
Rodgers
a
play.
child. What do you care what she thinks?
Because I'm trying to help her out here. This is important for her spiritual growth. You see, I watched Rodgers when he was Mahomes' age, and Mahomes has done some amazing throws. But
I think you were Lindsay's age when you were watching it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's really close. I do think it just comes down to decisions making and who's smarter with playing in the actual game. I think it's really close, and I think Mahomes has been a lot more blessed.
Who's the guy that's
than
playing
Rodgers
for the Jets
with his
now?
team?
The new quarterback they had out for the Jets. Was it the Jets? They had a new. He was good last year. Was it the Jets?
No, that was Sam Darnold, but no, you're not talking about Jets. You're talking about the Bengals, Burrow. You're talking about the Browns, Baker Field,
Burrow?
Lamar Jackson,
No.
Baker Mayfield,
No, not Baker.
Jets. It's not the
No,
Jets.
I thought he was like a reddish, maybe blonde-haired kid. Or
they just drafted a quarterback this year.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
the Jets did.
No, yeah,
They did.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Me
Who
neither.
was I thinking about?
I think
He was pretty hot.
yeah.
Pretty good job.
There was someone I can't remember.
think.
I can't remember. I think I know who you're talking about.
Who
but
was the team that went in the AFC playoffs? What
You had
did
the
two
Chiefs
teams-
and the Browns.
You said AFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Browns.
Okay. What was the?
Baker Mayfield.
Who did the Browns beat?
They beat the Steelers.
Who did the Chiefs beat?
The Chiefs. I think they beat. Chiefs beat. I think they beat Baltimore.
No. No.
Man, I don't have someone just a bracket for this stuff. No, they don't.
So it doesn't matter. We can all agree on this.
So
We all hate Brady.
So you got,
Yeah.
you got Jeff
Oh, wait,
over
wait,
here
wait.
saying the Browns are his team. Now, I think I'm probably about the same age as him, maybe a little bit older, but I I met Brian Sipe, Bernie Kosar, that generation right there, and every single time they'd get to playoff game, they disappointed, and that drove me absolutely crazy. I get to meet Lalo Zato too. Shook his hand, spent some time with him.
I almost met Rodgers, if you consider being in the same building.
Yeah.
With
That
90,000 fans.
No,
You
that
were
doesn't
less than 2 football fields away from him.
Yep.
Wow. Okay,
I think he saw me.
This might be too
I think he
soon.
waved.
This might be too. Well, you just have to say we're gonna go one at a time, and you have to say too soon or make your 2021, 2022 predictions for like towards the end of the. I'm talking who's gonna go to the Super Bowl or who will win.
Yeah, there's
like,
no way to
AFC,
predict.
NFC.
You can't predict it now.
You think things
it
are
would be
too
pipe dream.
things are too shook up right now
Yeah,
for
we just
you to
get
be
through
able
the
to.
draft.
Well,
I'm
I think
saying it
David.
now.
The reason I think David will bite on this is because he does this every year,
Say it
and then
every year.
and then see I'm giving an opportunity to do it
Okay,
now.
if Rodgers stays with
If
the
he
Packers,
stays. Okay.
I'm picking the Packers. By the way, the
For
last
what?
2 years
The
I've
Super Bowl or
for-
just the
to,
division?
to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And by the way, the last 2 years I've only been 2 games off. I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, and they were 1 game away. So this year is the year they go all the way. And in the AFC, I honestly would say the Browns, but I don't think Mayfield's got it in him. I don't think so. So I think it's going to be. I don't think you're getting rid of the Chiefs.
Just say nothing about the Buccaneers.
I don't think the Buccaneers make it. Nope. I think they do good though. I don't think they repeat.
You don't think so?
No. You've heard it here, folks. Here first. I'm just saying the exact. My last 2 years, I
even
predicted
with Brady,
the Packers.
you don't think that Brady's going to do it again?
No.
Come on.
No. No.
Okay. All right.
If
so
Rodgers
Packers,
stays.
Dad, do you have a prediction or too early?
I think it's too early, but I will say this. I think because of what's going on with Rodgers, even if he stays, it's almost going to be entirely uphill battle for him because of politically what he's done to the management and to the inner office. It's just going to be a tough fight. So I think he might be wearing.
Do you think that's going to
working against himself instead of coming back on? And there, like David, you had said this earlier today. You know, it's kind of hard, and unfair to all those guys that took a restructure on their contract, pay cut in order to make keep the team together, and they did it because who's their quarterback? Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you got to me, number one coach in the NFL all the years I've been alive is our coach. Just that he came out so young.
Yeah, he's pretty impressive so far.
Yeah. So
You don't think that this shakeup though is going to help give Rodgers a kick in the pants?
no, I think it'll
to perform.
No, I think
he already had. That's what this last year was all about. Was
No,
this,
I think he's-
revenge tour. You drafted a quarterback.
But I think that was kind of like that was
MVP.
weak sauce. This now, if you got players taking
no. The reason I'm a little bit uneasy about this is because last year I can see it with the draft. There's absolutely no reason for him to do it this year. None. So now it's affecting fans. Here's somebody who's a Green Bay Packers fan for life. And I'm like, seriously tired of this garbage. Just play.
Right.
I just want
Yeah,
a quarterback.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
I want a quarterback
That's-
that wants to retire in Green Bay and won't even consider it.
Well, here's the thing with Rodgers is
That's
he
what
wanted
kind of
to.
fans we
he
are.
wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Because what
But
did I
when
say?
they
If
drafted
Aaron
Love,
goes,
Yeah.
Aaron goes, what am I?
You're
I'm a
we're
Packers fan.
Yeah.
We want players like that.
Yeah.
We want players that
Yeah.
are like, nope, we're Packers.
And I think the thing with Rodgers is if Rodgers stays, the only way he's staying is if they guarantee, basically they're guaranteed that
He's
he
gonna
gets to
retire
retire. But it's not fair for him to do that to an organization when you don't know if your play drops, if he turns 40 and he starts not playing very
terrible.
well.
Yeah.
No, you can't demand.
but you can
He
bench
just-
him.
He just doesn't want. Here's
you
what
got
he's
Love
afraid.
sitting there.
He's gonna kind of play a little bit worse, not bad, but a little bit worse, and then he's gonna have to go play for another.
Here's
team.
what I say they should do. This is what I think they should do. Give him the money he wants. And the minute he doesn't play well, you bring Love and put him in a game. And you make him say look, yeah, I think that's where you put the
yeah,
pressure
that's
on him.
old fashioned
He already
stuff
has-
right there.
That's what you call football, right?
Do you
there.
remember when
need
Favre?
that.
Remember
He's
when
the best
Favre got
players.
hurt and they put Rodgers in?
Yes.
Yep.
And it was like, why aren't we just having Rodgers
yeah,
play? Like
right.
why are we going to put Favre back in? And they did. There was one game where they sat him out. They just like, okay, Favre, you know what? You're doing terrible. Sit down, and they let Rodgers.
Here's the
go
difference
back in.
between Favre. Rodgers will not make mistakes like Favre. Favre just threw interceptions
But
like
the
it was going out
problem
of style.
is his
But part of
mistakes
Rodgers
are that
will
he's a
not do
chicken.
On the other side.
He's a chicken. That's his mistake
Well,
right
I don't
there.
know if he's a chicken.
He's
just-
I'm saying
He won't take the shots. Yeah.
I'm saying that's his mistakes now. So,
Okay,
whereas
so-
Favre was just like, man, I'll just get my head
But
chopped
that's
off.
I do think that's a little bit different to the personalities. We're going way too long on this.
Yeah.
But a little different to the personalities. You have Favre, I mean, he's just an animal. But he was an animal on the sidelines.
Right.
He was a cut up. I mean,
Yeah.
he was always jumping all over the
Yeah.
the
He was crazy.
offensive
He was
line.
crazy.
I mean, he was, but he had fun. He was,
Yeah.
but he was in it. I mean, and he showed it on the field. Aaron is super smart. He's super smart. You know, he's kind of analytical and he's calm. RELAX. Just relax. You know, everything's gonna be all right. But it's not all right if your quarterback won't get out of the Happy Meal box and play football.
yeah.
And that's ultimately that's where I'm at. Is just like whatever happens to Rodgers, I'll miss him. I'll miss him. But I'm interested to see. I have a lot of faith in our. I feel like we draft well, develop well, and we got a really good head coach. So we'll just see what happens. If Love ends up being an elite quarterback, I mean, you it was an amazing pick.
It's got to be worth something, or if
Yeah.
Rodgers wouldn't be crying like a baby right
Yeah.
now.
We'll see.
Still love Rodgers.
So do I. Yeah.
Let's go to a song, and then when we come back, we'll go to our next segment.
You have a choice. You have to pick.
Oh yeah,
Do you care?
You have a pick?
It's too early in the season.
I love it. I love it. When we come back, we'll get to our hot off the wine press segment. Don't forget that last week's episode and the previous week's episode can be, soon be available as a podcast on our website and on YouTube and on anywhere that podcasts can be listened to. Remember, you can request a song during the show by texting us at 920-940-8275. And with that, we're going to play the first requested song, Good Old Gospel Singing. We'll be right back.
I recall a
Welcome to Hot Off the Wine Press, where we deliver nothing but the freshest of fresh news.
Fresh news. We started tearing down the building across the street on that property. We just purchased. It's looking good. City came out. We ran past them what we want to do. Decided to keep part of the front building. We'll knock down the house that's attached to it, and we're going to turn that into a college building and our youth center. I hate calling it youth center. We call it a
Family Life Center.
family life center, babe.
Yeah.
Activity center.
I don't know what do you call it.
But I also wanted
Multi-purpose building.
I also wanted to say that we have a new member of the Canaan Media
Yes.
team, the new DJI Air 2S. It is epic. My son Will's going to tell you all about it. Here you go, Will.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you about it. Here we have a freshly redesigned controller. That's all I know. I'm just
Freshly.
kidding.
Wow, you know a lot about it. It's 5K.
Yeah. Okay. So they
5.4.
upgraded
cable.
They upgraded the camera. They upgraded the camera on it. And hang on, I gotta plug it. Okay. They upgraded the camera on it. Gave it a 5.2K
Four.
resolution.
1-inch lens.
5.4.
It's a 1-inch sensor, not lens.
That's what
sensor.
I meant lens.
Makes a big difference in the quality of the footage that it's capturing. Also, I think there were some codec updates, so like editing it should be a lot more interesting. Plus, the technology is just blow you
Blah,
away.
blah, blah. Go 7 miles and 35 miles an hour.
Go 7 miles.
Yeah, so you can fly it 7 miles away from you as long as you have clear
Line of
like,
sight.
line of
Wow.
sight.
It flies
7
fast.
miles, and that sucker
Hauls.
it does it moves.
It's going down Rodeo Road, passing vehicles.
Yeah, so David was flying it. Actually, it does really well in bright light too, which I'm kind of surprised because some of the previous versions really struggled in really harsh light, but it does good. Flies nice. It's got a lot of extra sensors on it too.
And if you're a beginner, if you can afford this, if you can afford one of these, you don't have to be afraid. Out of the box, this is the most progressive tracking system, up to date. I've not done it yet, but I've watched the videos on it where they have the guy's on his bike and it's tracking him, just following his bike. And that thing is going underneath light poles and then around trees and
Yep.
down low and up high and didn't crash at all. It's just advanced. Out of the box, I flew it last week when I got it, and the response, it's easy. Just
got a-
easy peasy.
It's got a cinematic function that allows you to basically select motorcycles. Allows you to select.
Select motorcycle?
Yeah, select motorcycles.
Wow.
Select a subject, usually of sitting still, so like a building or mountain or yourself or whatever, and it will go through and do 10 different like cinematic shots, just movements that are pretty standard to the industry. So that's nice if you're like getting right into it and you're like, I'm not sure how to fly it to make the footage look good or to get the shot just right. You set what your target is and you hit that button and just boom, it just does 10 different shots and you can cut them in later, cut them together.
So with all of the technology and all of the sensors, this basically is like our new Baptist. It's progressive and super sensitive.
Wow.
I don't know if Baptist is really the right word. Right word. But yes, this is going to be a great tool. This is a great tool, and it will be.
Show them the new sensors on top.
Yeah. Well, so usually when these drones fly, previous versions, they would fly for the most part like this, and if they were going to go forward, they would tilt about that far. Now, because these suckers are moving at 30-something miles an hour, these guys lean like that far. And so these front sensors right here, they're not going to see anything when they're pointing down. So they installed 2 sensors on the top to help it see.
I don't
And it's
understand.
got
They
a-
don't make the whole thing a sensor.
It's actually got a gimbal lock and a gimbal setting that will lock when it moves like that. If you're flying real fast, it'll
Right.
keep it.
So
it's pretty cool.
Everything's getting smaller. The batteries are insanely small compared to what they
Yes.
used to be at the beginning. I mean, this is insane.
34 minutes
And-
flight time.
Yeah, and then charge, I think, in 2 hours.
Yep.
So craziness.
Light.
Hey,
Yeah,
fun
very,
fact,
very light.
That thing has more computing power than the trip to the moon did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Probably true.
A lot more.
And those that are worried about wind, this is actually very stable in the wind. The first couple of them I was a little sketchy about because they'd blow around pretty good, but this handles the wind actually very well, adjusts for it, and it's not the size that's the problem. It's your system actually that controls your motors, balancing and its speed. So it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Pretty awesome.
That's hot off the wine press.
Are we going to talk about the building?
We are. We just did.
No, we didn't. We talked
We
about
did
that.
kind of. Talked about it's going to be a youth center.
We didn't talk about, we took off the...
Top
Roof.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
we
we
took
took
off
the
the
roof.
roof.
We have to
last
name
night,
it
I
after
mean-
somebody.
Ooh, yeah.
Name it after someone?
Yeah.
What about the Rogers building?
Favre Rogers.
If you use Aaron, it's technically biblical.
That's true.
The Aaron building. No? Okay.
I think we're airing on this Aaron building.
Anyway, yeah, we did. How many tons of garbage did we take out of there?
Over 60.
Over 60 tons of garbage.
In about
I just counted up receipts from all the metals, over $1,000.
from this past week, yeah.
Yeah.
The week before that was also about 1,000.
Yeah, so
So that's a lot. And that's just from
city's very pleased. They actually told us they weren't going to charge us for our build permits, which is about $500-600 worth of permits. So they're very
Yeah.
happy.
That is awesome.
It's going to be good.
Finished our community days last week.
Yes, which was very good.
It's good.
Ended on a high day of close to 200. Then got graduation coming up for preschools on Mother's Day. That's next week.
Yep.
And be in prayer for Brother Peter. He's going to be traveling. He and his family are headed down south to South Carolina. And then we'll be back Monday of next week.
Yes.
So be in prayer for them. But they won't be here for Mother's Day. Oh, man. But they will be back. And let's see. Graduation for college is it we skip a week or is it the week very next week? It's
very next week.
Very next week.
Very next week. We got special speaker. Casey Palmore is the music director at Parkside Baptist Church for Pastor Wells. He also is part of the college there. I can't remember what his position is, but he's going to be our speaker for the commencement, and then one more graduation will be the high school of North Platte Baptist School, and then our preschool graduation for North Platte Christian Academy. So I think that's everything on the list.
It's the kindergarten graduation, not the preschool.
Yeah, kindergarten.
Oh, kindergarten. That's what
Yeah.
I meant.
But yes,
That's
for
what I meant.
North Platte Christian Academy,
Right.
kindergarten graduation. But that'll be the 23rd of May.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we go into the summer times with camps and the parade and
Fireworks.
firework 2 stands this year.
Yes.
Glory. Okay. That's it. That's the news.
Yep.
Let's go to a song.
Okay. Don't forget you can request a song by texting us at 920-940-8275 or send us a direct message on Twitter and Instagram at our handle at Canaan_radio. And with that, we'll play the next requested song, I Repent by Lois and India. We'll be right back.
D.L. Moody was born February 5th, 1837, and he died December 22nd of 1899. He was an American evangelist and publisher who founded the Moody Church, Northfield School, and Mount Hermon School in Massachusetts, Moody Bible Institute, and Moody Publishers. One of his most famous quotes was, "Faith makes all things possible. Love makes all things easy." Moody gave up his lucrative boot and shoe business to devote his life to revivalism, working first in the Civil War with Union troops through the YMCA and the United States Christian Commission. In Chicago, he built one of the major evangelical centers of the nation, which is still active. And working with singer Ira Sankey, he toured the country and the British Isles, drawing large crowds with a dynamic speaking style. Moody was born in Northfield, Massachusetts. As the seventh child in a large family, his father, Edwin J. Moody, was a small farmer and stonemason. Betsy Moody was his mother. Together, his family, they had 5 sons and a daughter before Dwight's birth. His father died when Dwight was age 4. Twins, a boy and a girl, were born a month after his father's death. The mother struggled to support the 9 children, but had to send some off to work for the room and board. And together with his 8 siblings, Dwight was raised in the Unitarian Church. When Moody turned 17, he moved to Boston to work in an uncle's shoe store. One of the uncle's requirements was that Moody attend the Congregational Church of Mount Vernon, and in April of 1855, Moody was converted to evangelical Christianity when his Sunday school teacher, Edwin Kimball, talked to him about how much God loved him. His conversion sparked the start of his career as an evangelist. In 1862, Moody married Emma C. Revel, with whom he had daughter Emma Reynolds Moody and his 2 sons, William Revel Moody and Paul Dwight Moody. And in June of 1871, at an international Sunday school convention in Indianapolis, Dwight Moody met Ira Sankey. He was a singer with whom Moody soon began to cooperate and collaborate. 4 months later, in October of 71, the Great Chicago Fire destroyed Moody's church building, as well as his house and those of most of his congregation. Many had to flee the flames, saving only their lives and ending up completely destitute. Moody, reporting on the disaster, said that about his own situation, that he saved nothing but his reputation and his Bible. In the years after the fire, Moody's wealthy Chicago patron John Farwell, tried to persuade him to become his permanent home in the city, offering to build a new house for Moody and his family. But the newly famous Moody also was sought also by supporters in New York, Philadelphia, and elsewhere. He chose rather a tranquil farm that he had purchased near his birthplace in Northfield, Massachusetts. He felt he could better recover in a rural setting for his lengthy preaching trips. Now, Northfield became an important location in Christian history in the late 19th century as Moody organized summer conferences. These were led and attended by prominent Christian preachers and evangelists from around the world. And Western Massachusetts has had a rich tradition, including Jonathan Edwards preaching in the colonial Northampton and Schofield preaching in Northfield itself. A protege of Moody founded Moore's Corner Church in Lorette, Massachusetts, which continues to this day. Moody founded 2 schools, the Northfield School for Girls, founded in 1879, and the Mount Hermon School for Boys, founded in 1881. Now, during a trip to the United Kingdom in the spring of 1872, Moody became well known as an evangelist. Literary works published by the Moody Bible Institute claim that he was the greatest evangelist of the 19th century, and he preached almost 100 times and preached almost 100 times in different locations around the country. On several occasions, he filled the stadia to a capacity of over 2,000 to 4,000 people. According to his memoir, in the Botanic Garden Palace particularly, he attracted an audience estimated between 15 and 30,000. The turnout continued through 1874 and 1875 with crowds of thousands at all of his meetings. During his visit to Scotland, Moody was helped and encouraged by Andrew Bonar. The famous London Baptist preacher Charles Spurgeon invited him to speak, and he promoted the American as well. When Moody returned to the U.S., he was said to frequently attract crowds of 12 to 20,000. Which had commonly been in England. President Grant and some of his cabinet officials attended a Moody meeting in 1876. He held evangelistic meetings from Boston to New York, through New England, and as far west as San Francisco, also visiting other West Coast cities such as Vancouver and in British Columbia, Canada, all the way down to San Diego. His influence was felt internationally, especially in Sweden, where because of his influence, though he had never visited Sweden or any of the Scandinavian countries, he had never spoken a word of Swedish, nevertheless he became a hero revivalist among the Swedish nation. Now, he preached his last sermon on November 16th of 1899 in Kansas City, Missouri, and became ill. He returned home by train to Northfield. During the preceding several months, friends had observed he had added some 30 pounds to his already ample frame. Although his illness was never diagnosed, it has been speculated that he suffered from congestive heart failure. He died December 22nd of 1899, surrounded by his family. He was buried in Chicago. Now, our second person that we're looking at today is Ira Sankey, who was an affiliate of D.L. Moody. He was born August 28th of 1840. He died in August 13th of 1908. He was a singer-composer known for his long association with D.L. Moody. In a series of religious campaigns in America and Britain during the closing decades of the 19th century, Sankey was a pioneer in the introduction of a musical style that influenced church services and evangelical campaigns for generations. He wrote hymns. He put together a hymn book, and was in which he popularized, which many of the songs that he had popularized are continue to be sung even to this day. Sankey was born in Pennsylvania. He was an amateur singer and church worker when he was recruited by Moody in 1870. After the latter heard him sing at a convention, and he worked with Moody until Moody's death in 1899. And Moody preached while Sankey sang both old and new hymns, inspired by writers such as Fanny Crosby and Philip Bliss. Sankey also became a prolific composer of hymn tunes and a compiler and editor of popular hymn collections, in particular sacred songs and solos and gospel hymns and sacred songs. The proceeds from these publishing ventures were used for a range of charitable purposes. After Moody's death, Sankey attempted to carry on his work alone, but was defeated by ill health and the eventual loss of his eyesight. He died in 1908.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. One of the things I read on here was that, I don't know if you said it or not, but Abraham Lincoln, I guess, attended one of Moody's Sunday schools at one time, which is interesting. But
well, he definitely had an influence on the, in general, on a lot of American culture.
Mm-hmm.
A very, very long. Ira Sankey had a huge list of songs that he wrote. Just like.
Well, he was up there with Fanny Crosby as far as. I think she had 5,000 hymns attributed to her name and her pen names. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Sankey he pioneered a lot of what we would consider our evangelistic type singing, I guess you could put it, where you're not just dead. Mm-hmm. Sitting in your seat and singing out of a hymn book, you're actually excited about what you're singing because it's about glorifying God. Mm-hmm. And he was excited about that. I've read a biography on him before, and And honestly, it is slightly repetitive, but it's interesting to note, though, about Ira Sankey that his wife was instrumental in his ministry, and that both of them working together, I mean, she helped him in so many different ways, from music, playing piano, and I believe that, but she also took over a lot of the ladies' side of a lot of those meetings that they had. So Moody and Sankey took care of the men, and then his wife helped on the ladies' side of it too. So it was interesting. But I mean, it's interesting, like how today all our services are together for the most part. You might have split sessions occasionally for like couples retreats and that kind of thing. But back then, they were all split services.
Yeah.
Rip the men up and down. But
He really, another thing about Moody is he really pioneered the whole Sunday school thing, and having classes for kids and trying to get, you say underprivileged kids. He cared a lot about the kids of the city to bring them in and get them into church. So I'm trying to remember, I think there was some sort of a story where he actually would use his own vehicle to pick up
wagon.
a wagon, right? But he would
Vehicle.
You
It is a
essentially
It is a
you could say essentially a bus ministry.
Yep.
But he would bring people, bring kids to church, and that he was no stranger to outreach, to personal outreach, getting young people especially to come to church. So
I know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of, I guess, his tours or revival meetings that were financed by rich folks. Often, I guess the reason they financed it was because they thought it would help the situation of the poor, those who were poor, because he attracted a lot of those type of people. And Moody didn't necessarily shame that. He just used it because he believed the only way to help people was for them to be regenerated, to be saved, which is true. And that's interesting. The fact that I think he put a really high premium on the gospel. So,
I can't remember if this is a story of Moody. I think it is. He started a Sunday school class in a closet and grew it out of a broom closet. And there's an amazing story. Also, the time of the Chicago fires, I think Horatio Spafford wrote "It Is Well With My Soul." They were actually on a ship on their way back over to England, and the ship went down. He lost his wife and daughter, I think, and that's when he penned that song. It is well. And actually, Sankey published it in a second book of songs. So, anyway, just interesting ministry. I got to publish my my wife did it. The radio broadcast Moody Ministry has done for years called Unshackled, and my life story is put on there, so that was kind of cool.
huge impact that Moody and Ira Sankey had on people,
Chicago,
so many different people, over the course of his ministry.
It's hard to believe Chicago's had as many great preachers in that area to see it be in such a bad state today. I think it's just amazing to me how many people have been reached out of that area. You have Brother Hiles, and then you have people like Spurgeon or Moody. So it's just amazing thought there.
I mean, other ministries that were started, the Garden Inland
Pacific Garden Mission.
Pacific Garden Mission. I actually visited there once. They have a much newer facility. Recently built. This was like 15 years ago that I went there. But it's really nice. But how that started, and that was a large ministry started in Chicago that spread their influence around the world. And just so many stories come out of that one specific location. It's amazing the opportunities that city has had as far as evangelists, preachers, or ministries that have influenced the world. And yeah, I mean, how sad is it that right now the spiritual state of anywhere, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a degradation, people not holding true to the Bible, and then going away from, I mean, they'd rather do things that make them popular rather than stay in tune with the Bible.
Mrs. Reeves and I were talking about that at lunchtime today. You know, we're rejoicing over what the Lord's been doing here in North Platte and our ministry and stuff like that. I said to her, the concern I have is, obviously when I'm dead and gone, there's nothing I can do about it. But every ministry dies, and the length of how long it stays right and fundamental is the challenge to me. And but Brother Howes used to say that every ministry will die and needs reborn, rebirthed, and restarted. So that's why you should never be loyal to institutions, but loyal to Scripture, to truth, and that's so true. I know, just sitting there thinking about when I go to heaven, when I go to heaven, and then it's left in the hands of your generation, what you guys do with it, what your kids do with it.
Yeah.
And the challenge is simply to keep you focused. And you kind of wonder, with these men that God used, if you look at the children, why is it so hard to keep our kids focused in that next generation? Why is it hard to instill in them a desire to keep some part of that ministry that they've been reached out of or been part of as a kid? Why does everybody want to go somewhere else? Ministry is the same wherever you're at.
Right.
But the thing is if we can get consistency and people to stay and to just serve the Lord, bloom where they're planted, and generation after generation do that, maybe the gospel light could shine a little bit longer in some areas and have a little more strength. I don't know.
Yeah.
No way to tell.
Yeah, looking at these different men and women that we talked about, I hope that we don't focus on the numbers or the amount of people that God allowed them to reach, as much as we look at their work ethic and their stand for right and being yielded to the Holy Spirit, because God is the one that decides how to use you and what He wants to do in that area. And I don't think we're highlighting their ministries because we're highlighting numbers. I just think it's I think if you take anything away from all of these different characters, it is the fact that they were willing to put their feet down and work and stand for something.
There's a lot of people that like to say the independent fundamental Baptist movement is dying, and I think it will die. But truth won't.
Right.
I don't think standards will ever die. I don't think King James Bible will ever die. I don't think godly music will ever die. I don't think separation from the world and to God will ever die.
Of course not.
But everything has a lifespan. Everything's born and everything dies. The thing is our object is to keep truth going. And so my concern is where are these offsprings from these great men? I hate to say it, but where's Brother Howes' offspring? That's just great. He built a great ministry, but that has always been something difficult for me to look at and say, I'm challenged by that. I just don't think it's impossible. I think it's possible for us to pass on to our children a love for the Lord and a love for the truth, and see them move forward and continue to hold those lines of truth and pass out on the next generation without losing our separation from the world. We don't have to be like that's. I'm just telling you, the world is gobbling up our churches hand over fist, and it's crazy what it's doing. So much so, homosexuality is almost just an acceptable thing. Drinking is an acceptable thing. I talked to a waitress today. She said she had a friend of hers that showed her a picture, she had a file of pictures of this family. It was a good-looking family. It was a husband, a wife, a bunch of kids, and they were on the family vacations. Then she showed her another file of the same woman with her boyfriend. Then she showed another file, and all three files were in together, and they were all having some kind of a physical relationship. And there's a term for it now. I don't even know what it is, but I call it sin. But it's basic. I mean, that they see nothing wrong with it. It's amazing how sex is something that is pulling our is really infiltrating our churches, and we don't talk about it. We don't preach on it. And I told Mrs. Reeves today, I said, we need to have, I don't want to call it a seminar, but a series of special days on biblical marriage, on biblical home, and what the Bible, what God says is right and what God says is wrong. I mean, we obviously have it preaching in church, but just amazing today because we're trying to help people and reach them, and they are being influenced. She told me about a girl that told her that her 3-year-old was telling her dad that she thought she was a boy. And her dad said, "No, you're not a boy." And I said to the waitress, I said, "Well, where is she getting that influence from?" And that's exactly it. Grandma, she said, well, her grandma is liberal like that. And then stuff they watch on TV. Yep. You let your kids be parented by the TV set, it's no surprise what you're going to get.
I know, it's like, it's almost like a mission field where you stand up and you preach the gospel, and it's like you can't just connect point A to point B anymore. You know, I'm not necessarily talking about the gospel. I'm just saying if you go to a mission field, you kind of got to build slowly, get to the point where they can understand the gospel, understand all it. Whereas in America, we came from a heritage where people, for the most part, understand Christianity and Christian morals, but just preaching to young people in the youth, you know, trying to say things about purity and about marriage. It's just they're so surrounded by everyone has a boyfriend, everyone has a girlfriend, their parents had multiple relationships. You know, it's so
Watered down.
Well, not just watered down, obscure. Like hard. Like you're telling them something that is so hard for them to compute in their mind because they've never heard it. That's what I mean by mission. It's like they're like it's hard to put a value on something to them when they don't even comprehend what you're talking about.
And you would think those who are older would, because Kaylee and I today, we went to a door and we an older lady came to the door. She said she was in her 70s, and I gave her the tract and I started to introduce the gospel to her and asked her if she knew for sure she was going to heaven, and she said, "No, I'm just a normal person. What are you talking about? I don't know if I'm going to heaven or not." And I just it kind of took me back. It was like normally you get that answer that's like, "Oh yeah, I know," but they don't really know. Right. Or you get people who are like, "No, I don't." And this person's like, it's the more of, that's even a thing. Like you're able to even know that you're going to heaven. And so I did my best to try and go through the plan of salvation, but I think she's a little older and the attention span wasn't quite there. So I just left her with the tract and the gospel and was like, placed it all on the Bible, because she asked about, "You guys are Baptists, what's that?" She's like, "What is Baptist?" Yeah,
the thing about it is it's not, I mean, I can understand that they have questions, but it's really not about what being a Baptist is. It's about what the Bible teaches.
And that's what
is right. I know, and I'm not criticizing that you were going down the wrong way. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right.
But what I am trying to get to a point here is when I was growing up, it was pretty typical in the public. I went to public school. My parents were not saved and married and divorced 5 times, my mom was, and I didn't even know my real dad. When we go to the public school, it's typical that in the high school that the peer pressure is, do you have a girlfriend, do you have a boyfriend kind of a thing, and not just do you have one, but what have you done with them? And kind of that was the norm during that time. That now lives within our independent Baptist churches. It lives within our youth groups. It lives within our Christian schools today. And that's what's so scary about this, because it's the people that stand up and say that's a sin, that's not right, have standards that guard you from that. You don't listen to this music, don't go to the movies, don't do all these things that would help to protect the purity. We are looked at as extremists by our own people. I mean, we've got pastors, independent fundamental Baptist pastors, whose kids are getting engaged, which praise the Lord for that. But they're hanging all over each other in pictures. And these pastors don't say anything. It's like acceptable that when you get engaged to have that physical contact, when the Bible's plain that you're not supposed to have that contact till you're married.
If you're willing to touch in a picture when the cameras aren't out, I mean,
what are you doing in private?
You can't expect us to believe.
Right. What I was really trying to get at with her is she said that she works at a school. She works in a school. Now, she doesn't teach because she's older. She used to. But she works in this, it must be some kind of a new program. She said, I don't remember the exact name she gave it, but It's a place where if kids haven't gotten their homework done, or kids are just having an emotional time, or kids just want to get away from everything, it's like this safe space that kids can just go to.
Where the waiter needed to go to today.
Yeah.
When he cried.
It's just a safe space. And she's like, and the statement she made that I was trying to get to was, she said, I didn't have that when I was younger, but I guess though it's a different world we live in now, so I guess it's what we need. But it was just one of those things where, just like you said, it's just like the world, everything's all of a sudden acceptable.
Bible hasn't changed. What they need is a spanking.
Exactly. It hasn't changed. And so...
Stop it.
That's why sometimes, honestly, just opening the Bible is refreshing, because of all of the things in the world that have changed, are changing, are confusing, it's just that there's one thing, there's one constant anchor that just is the same thing.
So when you have preachers today and their kids fail, then the preachers back off of what the truth is. They back off. If their kid has sex before marriage, you don't have that preaching happening. Mm-hmm. So there's no way around that.
Yep.
Preachers are going to get a backbone. And look, I'm thank the Lord for all you kids, but as well as I have in the pulpit, when you went the wrong way or did something wrong, you got nailed to the wall, because the truth doesn't change. Right. And the rest of the people in that room need to know, pastor's not going to be partial to his own kids when it comes to sin. Now, I'll be partial to you if you're doing what's right. You're my kids. But if you're doing what's wrong, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to it.
Right.
And if I'm going to hold someone like J.T. Crawford to a standard, I'm going to hold the same standard to my kids. Mm-hmm. And to me, you're not going to build a large church doing that, because people don't want accountability.
Which is what I was going to say, and that's the reason that people don't do it, is because they have higher focus on numbers and a big ministry than just truth, which goes back to we stand for truth.
Yep.
Who cares if you got a small church, small ministry?
Somewhere along the line of history, somewhere when we're dead and gone, these podcasts, these recorded things will be found. They will be found, and somebody will hear it. Somebody will study it out. Somebody will get saved. Because truth, crushed to dirt, rises again. You can't stop the truth.
Right.
And that's why we do it, being a small church. That's why we should continue to do things like this, that everybody looks at and go, they think they're big stuff. We don't think we're big stuff. We think the truth is a big deal.
Right.
And we're going to enshrine that truth any way we can, and put it and leave it as a legacy for our kids to have. So hopefully somewhere down the road, 100 years from now, somebody will uncover the brook and the echo,
right.
And some,
right.
And it'll make a difference.
Mm-hmm. And in a world that's so unashamed of sin, why should we be ashamed?
Amen.
Of the truth?
Mm-hmm. All of the truth.
It's good.
Yeah, nothing but
the truth.
I get it.
Well, we should push on.
Yeah. Let's see here. I got to get to where I'm supposed to be. You can request a song during the show by texting us at 920-940-8275. If you joined us on YouTube today, you can also request a song in the live chat. We're thankful for those of you who have joined us. If you have joined us on YouTube and you are not subscribed to us, please subscribe. It's annoying, David, that we're at 149. I think it's
we need to be at 150.
It's got to be an even number.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're about numbers now.
Yeah, we are. Totally about numbers. Totally about numbers. You can quote me on that.
Or at least let's have 9 people unsubscribe. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. It's either 9 unsubscribe or...
I'm sure there's some trendy
4,
subscribed.
Right? Sure.
We're going to lose them.
So subscribe, click the bell, and then share this with a friend. We hope that these... it's not podcasts. This is not a podcast.
I'm sorry.
No.
These are not podcasts.
It's not a big deal. This is an
old guy
syndicated
trying to
live radio show. It just happens to be released in podcast form.
Oh, okay.
It's just, I want to make sure people understand. We don't get on here to make a podcast. We get on here to minister to those who listen to Canaan Radio.
Podcast is quickly becoming that oversud buzzword, like
yeah.
in fundamentalism. It's like, oh my.
Somebody said
me
they
with
made
it.
fun of them. Called it something else cast. It's a sad cast or something.
I don't know. Anyway,
honestly,
recast.
That's all it is a
It's
recording, right? Of
It's an
people talking?
audio recording.
Boot,
Right.
This is a recording.
Right. And I love to use the word syndicated, so we are a syndicated live radio show.
Syndicated by...
What are we syndicated by?
Syndicated just means released in different forms. So there's an original show, and then it gets released later. That's what
Syndicated in VHS.
Hey, you should tell about that tape machine.
Oh,
we
we
found.
do. I don't know. I think it's across the street still, but we found an old RCA VHS camcorder. And 2 lenses.
thing.
I mean,
Brand new.
batteries, the whole 9 yards. So we're going to put together a promo video with that.
That'd be awesome.
See how it goes. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next.
shaky.
Yeah, no stabilization. To our next requested song, No Doubt Salvation, Harvest Baptist Church. We'll be right back. Welcome to The Pulp. Some people hate it, others love it. Either way, you can count on us talking about it, and let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk
About what we were
You like
talking
that?
about? Oh, no.
Go ahead.
I hate it when you give information out about things that you thought others knew and they didn't know, and then you end up being the bearer of the information you didn't know.
That's so vague.
Like no.
To what are you referring?
Can you give us a hypothetical
specifics.
example?
Yeah, give us an
Okay.
example.
Tell us about a friend that had this happen
Let's see
to
if I
you.
can make this up. Like when someone's decided to not rent a house, but to buy a house, and they're dating someone, they're not engaged, they're not nothing like that, but they're just dating somebody. And your friend tells you about it, and then you just assume that he's already talked to his girlfriend about it. And so you make a comment, and then the girlfriend comes back to him and says, "What in the world's going on?" And then you find out that you let the cat out of the bag, and then you get chewed out.
I thought I asked not to talk about personal stuff on the broadcast.
I didn't say any names, JT.
Okay, he only used one.
He's looking for something to throw at me. Anyway, for whatever trauma I have inserted into this relationship, I apologize. But
Speaking of cats out of
pulp.
the bag,
It is very
it's pulp.
I have the greatest pulp. Cats.
Cats in a bag.
Cats. Just cats.
We just dehomed.
I think every cat, we should line them up.
From here to
We should take a golf club,
Wow, this is really.
You're
whack their heads off,
getting descriptive. Are you okay over
and
there?
see how far we can get their little heads. That's how much I hate
Okay, but
cats.
you need to elaborate because you
So-
can't just say that and then expect people to be like, "Oh yeah, I totally get them."
Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't be like that. No. So this week, cleaning out that property next door, there have been so many stray cats, or who knows what kind of cats, in that building. The entire place smells like cat.
Urine.
Pee, vomit, poo, you name it.
seriously. This is a family show.
Family syndicated
Just because
radio.
your 3-year-old daughter just found out that monkeys poop doesn't mean
Yes.
that.
Wow.
Such an awesome story.
Anyway, cats offer absolutely zero purpose whatsoever to the world.
Chinese food.
Okay, that is okay. I don't mind that, but I'm just saying, like,
They decrease
What
the
does a
mouse
cat
surface
do?
surplus population.
chases down
mice,
mice,
but-
but you can go to the store and get something for that.
No.
It's called a cat.
You know, if you get the right kind of dog, the dog will take care of that.
That is a weird dog.
Who's going after mice? Yeah.
Man, our dog Bandit, he caught a ground squirrel
Yeah, that
while he
dog
was on a
is-
chain.
yeah,
He got
that
a
dog
pigeon
was
the other day.
crazy. Reese
Yeah.
caught a pigeon.
Yeah.
He's a bird.
They are
You gotta
flying
take, you gotta
rats.
take that dog
pretty
bird.
much, yeah. But anyway, cats they're kittens. You know,
They're cute.
They're okay.
If
And-
they
and
stayed
then
that way,
when they get
yeah.
older,
we might be able to.
that's when you perform the
Whereas
whacking.
dogs, they're so cute when they're puppies, but when they're older, then they're like useful animals.
They at least obey
They at least
Maybe.
are not.
to an extent.
At least they don't have attitudes. Cats just like they're just an attitude. That's what they
Like-
are. They're like,
Why haven't you fed me yet today?
with the whole
where's
head
my
movement.
food? Yeah.
With the head movement.
Where's my food?
It's funny. Mom and I were talking about the dog situation because there's something with people today. They're missing a brain cell or something. It's like if I looked outside and I knew my dog would not respond to a command, and the neighbors had kids out playing or there was something going outside, would I bring my dog into the front yard?
No.
No. But it's like in our neighborhood, people come out, they bring their dog out, and if you have your garage open, they're in your garage. If you have your front door open, they'll go right in your front yard. And the owners don't care. They don't care. They're like, hey, 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 hey. And it's like
you imagine
the
if they had
dog
kids?
is not. Yeah, it's crazy.
Don't leave your house open.
But it's stupid stuff like that. It's like, why don't people just stop and think?
right.
As a good neighbor, you don't let your dog who doesn't obey commands.
Well,
Yeah.
see, what we're going to do
Like a
is
good
invent this
neighbor?
awesome system. You know those shock collars for dogs? You put the perimeter fence around you bury the
yeah,
line in
that
the ground.
doesn't work.
But if you have one of those and you do it, and you have to have this specific fob on your person to not get shocked, that way you give one to your mailman, and that's about it.
Well, as soon as the mailman, yeah.
See where I'm going with this? I think it'll be big.
It's going to
Wow,
be big.
it's going to be.
Don't ask. Be huge. You better start a GoFundMe account for that one.
Hey, I'd probably get a lot.
Yeah.
If I can figure out how to get it to work.
Before or after you get sued.
Cats are good pets. Jeff, if they're stuffed, they're good pets.
Why would
Okay,
I want
David.
a stuffed? Oh, well,
So is that yours?
That was mine.
Yours is cats?
cats. That's
Dad,
all.
yours was.
Intruding into other people's relationships, not knowing that it was going to cause
Okay,
a problem, even
okay.
though I enjoy really causing.
That was legit?
Yep.
Okay, I thought
Who's
that
That was
next?
legit.
All right, Peter.
Pulp. I don't have one. I kind of piggybacked off of theirs.
You just
What
were
do you
like,
got?
meh, me too.
Okay.
What's yours?
All right.
I'll
That's
think
the
of
end of the
something.
program.
No, mine is my wife's birthday.
Hey, you did it.
Some
You
people hate her.
remembered.
Some people hate it.
I did. I loved it. I enjoyed
We
it.
were leaving here and going to my house to celebrate
That's
it.
right. We're gonna party.
We're having steak.
Oh, I
On the
did.
grill.
I found out my
Wait,
pulp.
I'm grilling steak.
Well, yes, you are, because your brother's going to.
I'm not even hungry.
He is going to go to Walmart,
Peter's fault.
And do what?
buy your wife's present because he hasn't done it yet. Oh, there I go, getting in other people's
Oh, there
business.
you go.
Hey, I was trying to.
Cat's
It's just
out of
us
the
four
bag.
here.
It's just so
It's just us four.
awesome that
Wow.
I have to wait till
It was not to speak for her, but it was a pretty good birthday. I mean, it was all right.
Wow.
We went to a Mexican restaurant last
See?
night. It was pretty good.
See,
Queso
Had
and
chips and queso.
see.
Had to have the queso warmed up though, so them restaurant experiences kind of rough for the Reese family.
That should be your fault.
It's your legacy.
Oh,
It's the family curse. That's why I've just accepted it.
He just eats
just eats
nasty
cold
food.
food,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's just like,
guys,
serve it to
if
me.
you lower your expectations,
It's-
life is so much better.
The whole
my
world
word.
of possibilities opens out.
Anyway,
Yes.
so
But hold on. So my pulp, you know,
Oh, he does have
Mother's
a pulp.
Day. Well,
Okay.
I just thought of it, and I think
Okay.
someone will be able to relate with me in this table. Is Mother's Day interfering with birthdays?
put her there.
Should we
Put her there.
should we move the birthdays or
No,
Just get rid of Mother's Day.
I'm sorry. Oh, hang on.
Who's the one that instigated Mother's
Where's the Brother's Day or Son's Day or Daughter's Day?
Children's Day is
Children's
every
Day, or no,
That's
no,
what
no,
grandparents
no.
say.
Come on, I mean, think about it. I mean, in
That's-
this progressive world
you
we live in,
haven't
why has
earned
not
anything.
someone brought that up?
That's been replaced through the years by more important political holidays.
Such
I'm not sure where he's.
yeah, such as first day of Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month,
Of course.
which is today.
What was that?
First day of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Okay,
Totally
That is
retarded
way too
things.
specific.
Beautiful.
I'm not sure who that applies to.
well,
If
with that-
you're
The Asians,
Pete,
the
it's
If you're
okay.
Americans,
first
the
a day
Islanders, which are
Asian
you?
American, Pacific, and Islander Heritage or month, then you're good.
I'm a month.
my birthday's on May 10th. Yours is on May 12th, and so it's like
Hey,
it's
we haven't
this
figured out who has had more
more.
Mother's Day.
Well, I wasn't going to calculate it, but it's inevitable that our birthdays are going to fall on Mother's Day. So it's like Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Oh yeah, I had a birthday too.
Would that explain-
I made you a mom.
You did not.
I did.
And neither did
me
I.
being born made you a mom.
I don't think that's how it works.
Me being born made you a mom.
Mother's Day wouldn't mean anything to you without me.
Is this why you're so bad at celebrating Mother's Day? Is your
Yes,
bitterness?
that's it.
Is that
That's
why you
what it
never
is.
get
Bitter.
mom anything?
Well, it was that, and growing up, it was a mix between graduations and traveling and hope going
You
to
should have
college.
planned
It
your
was just
birth better,
I know,
Mr. Make Her
I
a
know.
Mom.
I did. I did a terrible job.
Just the money you would have spent on your mom. You should have bought yourself presents.
I agree. No, I don't. I love my mom.
You didn't spend any money on your
I'm
mom.
like, yeah. Wow. Anyway,
when is Mother's Day?
Never.
the 9th. It's the day
that next
before my
Sunday?
birthday.
Yes, it's a Sunday.
Yes.
Okay, so we can talk about that next month. Or next week.
Next month.
Yeah. June might be slightly.
Sounds good.
For all of you fans that are here only for Brother Peter, please tune in next week. We will have a cardboard cutout in this place.
Yes, we will.
So we don't want to lose you.
We're going to FaceTime him and make him still be a part.
That's good.
I will be on the road, so sure.
I've really been looking forward to this vacation. Can't wait to go.
He's going to
What?
stow away. We have a special seat for you on the roof.
Hey, you know what?
At this point, he'll take
free.
it. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Brook. We hope you'll join us again next week at the same time and in the same place for another fun-filled show. Pastor, David,
Whoop.
and Peter,
Yep.
Hi.
and JT, of course. Thanks for another great broadcast.
This is
You'll be
good.
able to find this show in podcast form on our website, on YouTube, and on iTunes, and wherever podcasts, because this isn't a podcast,
No, it's not a podcast.
can be listened to.
Syndicated radio.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you joined us today on YouTube. And before we go, we'd like to leave you with
Aaron Rodgers.
this verse.
VHS.
Yes. In Aaron
Second
Rodgers 1:1.
Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 15. Tell me if I read this one before. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the traditions which ye have been taught, whether by word or our epistle.
That's good. Preach it.
Nothing wrong with traditions, people, as long as they're the right
Biblical.
traditions.
Amen.
That's good truth right there, brother.
Amen.
Speaking of truth, we want to make sure that we put a little plug here for the Echo.
Oh,
You do not want to
not
miss
want to miss
the Echo.
the Echo.
Comes out weekly,
comes out
sometimes more than
weekly,
once.
sometimes more than
a week,
once.
right?
no, it's been
week,
once a
right?
week.
Would you stop?
Would you stop?
The Echo.
You can find it if you go to twitter.com/ is it Pastor Reeves?
I don't
With
even
one
know
R.
what it is.
That's Pastors. If you find our website, go to our Twitter, go to Pastor's Twitter, you'll find
Follow the
yeah.
links.
There's a
We will
YouTube.
we got to tweet it out.
Can't you find it on our YouTube?
Yeah, well, it's the Echo on YouTube, but I don't know if there's any other. It doesn't have a. More people need to subscribe so we can get you a name. It'll be YouTube.com.
Yeah,
When you
I
make
need a
it
name.
like the
Yeah, we
Brook,
need more
then you can have a
subscribers.
customer.
That's right.
You've got 149 subscribers.
All that people that subscribe to the Brook should just go over and subscribe to the Echo.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Are we going to end this program sometime?
With that, GT, are you ready? With that, we'll play the final requested song, He Made a Change, Our Father's For.
The Brook, a ministry of North Platte Baptist Church.